One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Thank you for joining us here today. Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts.
This case is an abomination. It's obviously political. 7 years to try to come up with this case. They're just wrong on the law.
The only crime that Donald Trump is being prosecuted for is the crime of running for president.
Political persecution at the highest level.
They've quite frankly given up on trying to beat him at the polls. Either going to steal it or stop it by law firm.
A Democrat prosecutor elected on a Get Trump platform.
What's going on here is a disgusting disgrace. It is war on Trump, it is war on the Republican Party, and it is a war on the Republic.
This case is the weakest case I've seen in 60 years of teaching, practicing, and writing about criminal law.
And I doubt the New York indictment would have been brought against a defendant whose name was not Donald Trump.
This judge, you don't need a prosecutor if you have a judge like this. This judge is not on the level.
It's a terrible case, but the judge has been pretty much a rubber stamp on everything that Bragg has wanted to do.
They're perverting the system of justice. That's where the danger lies. The corruption and subversion of our institutions by the left.
This is the Democrats' entire strategy, to confine President Trump to a dirty criminal courtroom and keep him off the campaign trail where he can bring his winning message to voters across this country.
New York has become a legal banana republic. They are so determined to get Donald Trump.
Look, convicting Donald Trump, that's all they have.
I think they have no cards. And they're depending upon Trump getting convicted.
That Trump train doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
The only verdict that matters is the verdict at the ballot box.
Okay. Yeah, Judge, if you'll hold on just a second. We see President Trump now. He is walking out. Let's listen.
Trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
All right. I know you guys are pissed. I've got some breaking news right off the bat for you. I just saw on my phone here that Trump has decided to hold a press conference tomorrow at 11 a.m. He just released that on Truth Social, that he's going to be holding a press conference tomorrow at 11 a.m. And so I will be going live covering that press conference for you and hearing what the man has to say. I had, when I first put up this post that I was going to do a live video, this was my initial thumbnail. I want you guys to see this. I had that, Trump found guilty, and the flag upside down. Obviously, that's America in distress, and Trump behind bars. And I looked at that, and I kept looking at it, and I said, no, that's not going to work for me. And so I changed it to this one in terms of still voting for Trump, because that's how I really feel, and that's how I want you guys to feel right now. We're all still going to be voting for Donald Trump. If you're not, you don't need to be here. I'm real busy. I'm trying to do all this myself. And if I see trolls or people report you, I'll try to get you. But I'm not really going to pay attention to the trolls at this point. They are what they are. We knew that this would come, that if he was found guilty, that everybody over on that other side, the commies and stuff, would be gloating, saying whatever they can. I saw Eric Swalwell put out something really stupid. I don't care. I'm still voting for Trump. I don't care that he got convicted on 34 counts. It doesn't matter to me. So I had to change that thumbnail because in a short period of time, I went from absolute pissed off anger to absolute let's go. And I do mean let's go. At this point, every Trump supporter, every older Trump supporter, every newer Trump supporter, game on. It's time to take it to these people. No prisoners. Don't expect any mercy. We have to come out, and I don't mean in terms of fighting in the street. You know it's funny? Tonight, you don't see people rioting. There's no buildings burning, because that's not how we are. We need to fight where it really counts. We need to overwhelm the voting precincts. We need to just come out in such a force they can't take it from him. I don't care if he has to serve the first couple of his weeks or whatever in the clink. It doesn't matter. We'll make it like Goodfellas. We'll send him wine and he can get good steaks and basically be the man in cell block C. I don't care. They knew this thing would never survive appeal, but they did it anyway. And the reason they did it was to demoralize you. They want you sunken. They want you feeling doom and gloom. And I'm telling you tonight, do just the opposite. Look them in the face, smile at them and go, okay, we'll see. Many, many, many battles have been lost before the war was won. And right now, make no mistake about it, we're in a war. A political war. Again, so the people upstairs don't get pissed off that I'm advocating violence, as they say. No, I'm talking get your asses out there and be a part of this. And here's the biggest thing about this. With these convictions, if they don't get them appealed and taken off before the election, you got to vote down vote. Because here's what they'll do. If he gets in office and they control the House and the Senate, they're going to bounce him out of there as fast as you can blink. They will impeach him for the 14th time. You got to make sure, all the way down to dog catcher in your particular neighborhood, all the way down, teachers, dog catchers, meter maids, make them all Republican. Make every single person you vote for, make sure that every single one of them understand what we're fighting for. Because there will be no November 6th. If Dementia Joe wins, the November 6th won't happen. We'll be done as a country. We can fly the upside down flag, because at that point it will be over, absolutely over. But now we have to rebuild, and what we have to rebuild is the groundswell needs to raise right now. We all need to just come on out and say and basically lock arms, just like those idiots in the street, but don't go in the street and lock arms. Understand, pull people up. You see somebody down, pull them up. Be there for somebody. Be that person. If one of your neighbors is like, I can't believe what happened. Oh, this sucks. No. This is good. Make it good. Get fired up. Get righteously angry. Get Jesus in the temple type of angry. Just understand what is at stake here. This country is at stake, and it's obvious at this point they will do anything to push their agenda. Don't mistake that. You saw it. And as Trump has said many, many times, I'm just standing in your way. He's absolutely right. And that goes as far as even talking about other politicians. If you're on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you may be, and you see that someone isn't talking this up and saying this is a travesty, call them out. Mitch McConnell, I'm telling you right now, if I don't see some tweets from you, I'm coming for you. All of you, Nikki Haley, you ain't out there saying this is a travesty and you're going to support Trump 100% and telling your supporters, get behind this guy. I'm going to come for you. Every single person that thinks they're a Republican or a conservative at this point needs to do two things. One, support Donald Trump, and two, support the Supreme Court. They are going to be coming now. They feel emboldened. They are going to put crosshairs on everybody. You see what they've been trying to do to Judge Alito. You've seen what they've been trying to do to Amy Coney Barrett. They just feel like they are just a big crap on the block, and they're going to be coming for everything. That's why it's important for you to understand the position we are all in and get ready. This is game time, man. You got 6 months to save the country. 6 months. 6 months to save the country. Luckily, what I found really funny was I didn't know he had, basically already scheduled a press conference. He needs to do a rally basically every single week, maybe 2 a week. Go everywhere. And if it's near where you live, go. Bring people. Show these people they screwed up. Y'all screwed up big time. You don't even know how big you screwed up. We're going to make sure Dementia Joe is basically shouted into oblivion. In fact, go to a Dementia Joe rally and let him know, hey, Brandon, this ain't going to work. We're not going to take it anymore. We have had it to here. I know in the black community, you watch what happens. Watch what happens in the Hispanic community. And the money, man, the money is absolutely already flowing right away. Let me go back to a couple tweets here to show you this stuff. This was just amazing to me. So many of you guys probably know who Jack Posobiec is. Jack says the Trump donation site crashed. It just went down right after. You see the time on here, I think. Yeah, 5:41. It went down because so many people were donating. This guy, David Giglio, says breaking President Trump's donation site goes down due to high traffic. The American people are angry. How angry? Very angry. Clay Travis, leave blue states. There are no state income taxes in Tennessee, Texas, or Florida. Why pay 14% to live in banana republics? Absolutely insane decision. Now understand, I understand, I said it twice, that there are some people who are in positions who can't leave. And I pray for you. because life is going to get very hard in blue-run cities. These people don't care about the law. You've seen it now. You saw Dementia Joe bragging at his rallies that, hey, the Supreme Court told me I couldn't, give away money to the students and refund their student loans, but I did it anyway. Well, that's what's going to happen. They are going to do things that they know they can't get away with in the long run, but as we've seen, the court system goes very, very slowly. It moves so slow that they know they can get away with so much crap before it gets before a judge, and a judge who will actually understand the Constitution. Notice today, I'm not sure if you noticed, today, Supreme Court did rule on something. They ruled 9-0, unanimous decision, that the NRA can move forward with this lawsuit that they have pending. How long did that take for them to get to the Supreme Court? At this point, it may take a year for somebody to get to the Supreme Court. So tomorrow, who knows, wherever you live, they may say you can't do X or Y, and there's nothing you can do about it until it works through the system. So if you live in a blue state, I live here in Florida, South Florida, free state of South Florida, be careful. If you own a business, move it. If you own a business and have the capital, get the hell out of a blue state, especially if you're in New York. Done. Get out. Move it. Move it to Tennessee, Texas, maybe even Nevada, Florida. Bring it someplace else. Tell your employees, sorry, I gotta go. This is crazy. If they could come after, just keep saying to yourself, if they could come after a president, if they could do this to a president, they can do it to you. There's no doubt about it. They can put you in jail. The only reason why he's probably not in jail because it would be even too much for them to do if they revoked his bail and said, hey, you gotta hit the bricks over in Rikers. So they couldn't go there yet. The sentencing has been finalized for July 11th, just a couple days before the RNC convention. And who knows what they'll do. He's got an entire book. He can do whatever he wants. The only thing that Trump can do before then is to get an appeal to stay any sentencing until he gets an appeal. So there's a lot of, what can I say, misinformation, uninformation, if that's a word, of people are saying this and saying that. And I'm going to try and answer some of the questions when I hit the comments to let you guys know what the real deal is. So as of right now, he's been convicted on all 34 counts. He is, and you'll hear it every single day, a convicted felon as of today. They don't care if it gets overturned. They are going to drum convicted felon into people's heads over and over and over for the next 6 months. Don't fall for it. Let it go. Let it wash right over you. Or just don't pay any attention to them. Understand you got a job right now. You have something to do. You have got to get motivated. You have got to get people around you motivated. And you have a purpose. If you didn't have one before today, you have a purpose right now. And that purpose is to get Donald Trump elected on November 5th. That is your purpose. Have a direction. Get that goal. Go for it. Don't let it slide one day. It's that important. I know everybody says that cliche, hey, vote like your life depends upon it. If you don't think it does, you shouldn't be watching this video. If you don't think getting Donald Trump elected as president isn't something that your life depends upon and your way of life depends upon, then you shouldn't be watching this video. Because right now, you can see what they are willing to do to get their agenda. And I'm tired of people who are not ready to fight. I am tired of the turn the other cheek people in Congress. I look at some of these guys and I say to myself, how did you ever get a woman? They don't look like people that you would want to get in the trenches with. Right now, you need to find people that you're willing to go to the mattresses with, people that you want to be in the foxhole with, because some of these guys, I don't know. I mean, a little light in the step. Mitt Romney, I'd break you in half. Understand where we are at this point. We are at a point where you need to choose your comrades and understand what's at stake. Am I scary? I think today should have scared everybody. They convicted a former president, future president, on 34 counts in little under 12 hours. They wasted no time. Did people get to the jury? Who knows? They weren't sequestered. That's another thing that they'll look at and appeal. These people, he never had a chance. And you won't either, if you, depending on where you live, if you're in a blue state, and what they do federally. And then today I see they decide to say that he said the N-word, because I guess they're just trying everything at this point to get the black vote to come back to him. Now, you're telling me that this guy, since 2015, 2016, had Russia and Russia and Russia and Stormy and Stormy and Stormy and every other kind of investigations, tax returns, none of it worked, and no time since 2015 did anybody say that he said the N-word. But now today, all of a sudden, hey, Biden's way behind it with black people, and Trump said the N-word. If you don't think that they could manufacture a tape, if you don't think that they could manufacture an audio tape that sounds exactly like him, that may surface, I could show you the website to go to take a voice and do an AI clone to it. Now all of a sudden, who knows? This may be the next thing they're going to do. They threw a president, convicted a president, didn't they? Oh, Barry, they convicted a president. At this point, anytime you say to yourself, would they do that? You got to go back and go, wow, they just convicted a president of 34 counts. That's your standard at this point. Could they possibly do? They convicted a president of 34 counts and a felony without even having a charge, with just a complete sustaining every single thing that they were talking about. Excuse me for a second. I got people buzzing me and everything else. I want to just make sure what this says. All right. But anyway, that's what's happening. People are texting me over and over. So let me show you a couple more things before I take some comments. This was, as you know, this was, again, I wanted to make sure everybody saw this. This is when the site went down. And this is something I was talking about earlier when I said, find your people. Find the people that you can support. You can only stand on principle for so long. At some point, you have to start throwing punches too. Not literal. Now, I'm not talking literal. That's the lesson here. Stand up and fight. I feel a little bit like I know what some of the people felt like during the American Revolution and the Civil War. At this point, it was brother against brother. At this point, there may be neighbor versus neighbor at this point. It's that bad. It's absolutely just chilling what's going on. Sorry to dash Trump haters' orange jumpsuit fantasies, but Trump won't be taken into custody or go to Rikers. Even if he's slapped with a prison term, he'll be free on bail pending appeal. So that's already been adjudicated. Sentencing won't be enforced until all New York appeals are exhausted, well past the election. So that means that once the New York appeals are exhausted, he could be put in jail before it gets to the Supreme Court, unless the Supreme Court steps in and goes, nah, you ain't doing nothing until we take a look at this. It's going to be overturned. It's just a matter of time. Before the site went down, this guy here, Sean McGuire. Sean McGuire is a big tech guy. Sean McGuire just donated $300,000 to Trump. That's how big this is right now. Sean McGuire, let's see, who is he? He's partnered with Sequoia and Caltech Physics, quantum space, crypto security. Yeah, that guy just donated $300,000 to Trump. If you've got some extra spare coin, get over there. David Sachs. David Sachs, if you don't know him, another billionaire. After Biden's disastrous presidency, Trump has a lot of supporters in Silicon Valley. Many are just afraid to admit it, but with each act of courage like this one, the dam begins to break. And he's talking about Sean McGuire's $300,000 donation. You're going to see big money. At this point, you are going to see big money get behind Trump. They know at this point, if they would do this to a president, their businesses don't mean anything. They could just put tariffs on them. They could do all kinds of things. They could just make what you do illegal. They don't care at this point. They are going to do their Marxist agenda and go after people. Barry, you might be exaggerating. Oh, really? They just put a conviction of 34 counts onto a president, and they had no basis for it. Again, use that as your standard. When people start saying it's hyperbole, and you can't think that they would do it, just go fall back. Wait a second. They just convicted Donald Trump on 34 counts. Yeah, they could do it. You got the president, as I said, going out into his 400-person rally and saying, yeah, I told the Supreme Court they could kiss my ass, and I gave away $7 billion. Flaunting it. Is that what you want leading this country? Someone who's just going to ignore law? That's why it's so important for you to coalesce, get up, shake off the wounds from today, get the dust off, shake your head, get the cobwebs gone, and say, okay, now it's time. I'm ready to actually go. Put on the red hat, put on the sweatshirt, do what you need to do, and get ready. So anyway, David Sachs, big billionaire, he's got money. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting to see what Elon Musk does. Because at this point, Trump needs to get on Twitter. Just start talking. I don't know if the gag order is still in effect or not, but F it. Screw it. What can they do to you? Put you in jail? Who cares at this point? Start talking. Get on Twitter and go for it. Absolutely go for it. I can't wait to see this press conference tomorrow. It's probably going to be hella righteous. I mean, just crazy. So let's look at a couple more. Trump just won the election. I truly feel that. I truly feel that he just won the election. Do you feel that way? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Ted Cruz, stand-up guy, after all the fighting he and Trump had, says, this is a dark day for America. This entire trial has been a sham. It's nothing more than political persecution. The only reason they prosecuted Donald Trump is because Democrats are terrified that he will win re-election. Let's make their terrified dreams come true. This disgraceful decision is legally baseless and should be overturned promptly on appeal, but it's going to take time. Any judge with a modicum of integrity would recognize that this entire trial has been utterly fraudulent, which it has been, absolutely. Steve says, this is our next president. He looks sad. I'm so sorry, Donald. We got your back. Don't worry. You will be our next president. And Mike Cernovich loved how he phrased this. Today was a terrorist bomb detonated on our legal system. A September 11th level attack. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that today we sustained an attack. An attack on our very way of life. So let me go ahead and take a few comments before I continue. 86, where's this one? Roger Mayton, let me make sure this comes up. Yeah, I'm as mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah, from the movie network, William Holden screams out the window, I am mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. At this point, and it's funny that you say that. You know, when I go to church this Sunday, I'm going to talk to the pastor I told you who lost his baby, and I'm going to you need to start letting people know, get ready. You tell us to get ready for, all the other stuff. This is when pastors and churches need to take a stand and go, we've had enough. If a pastor doesn't recognize what just happened in this courtroom, I don't know if I'd want to be their pastor. Because right now, any pastor worth his weight has to realize we're not fighting Dementia Joe. We're fighting evil personified. It is now a fight of good versus evil. Barry, you're going too far. Okay, here's my standard. They just put a president, convicted him of 34 counts with no evidence based upon a liar who stole from him and a porn star. This is a fight of good versus evil. You're going to have to swallow that, accept it. I'm like, whew, man. I don't know if I'm even ready for that. Even RFK Jr. came out today and said, my father, former Robert F. K. Sr., who was an attorney general, he goes, would not have stood for this. Would not have stood for this. Merrick Garland just sat by and let it happen. This is a fight of good versus evil. Let that sink in, swallow it, Be afraid and realize you're not alone. Do you think that the United States Marines are intimidated by these demon American haters? No, but who's in charge? Who, I mean, at this point, someone is going to have to rise up. I hate to say that something like that would happen because that would be horrible, but I don't know where this thing is headed. Good versus Dominion machine. Yep. This case just, I believe this. This case just signed Biden's political suicide and linked the Biden administration to everything that President Trump has been saying all along. He has said, he basically was prophetic in how he has said, this is what's going to happen. They're going to come for me because they can't yet get to you. I'm the only person standing between them and you. And now they're trying to remove him, but they've got 6 months to try and do any damage they can to him. Remember, there's other court cases out there that are more serious than this crap that Alvin Bragg just put out there. This was supposed to be the weakest case. Fortunately, we have a judge that knows what the hell she's doing in Florida. And Georgia, I don't know what, Big Fanny is looking at doing, but she's in trouble. So those things are on hold. And his poll numbers are here's a hint about the poll numbers. Don't be surprised if the media tries to hide the truth of the poll numbers overnight and for the next couple of days. Watch them come out and say, hey guys, you know what? This thing was so bad that now Biden is up in all these swing states. That fast. That's all it took. And now Biden's up by 3 or 4 points in all these swing states. And then collectively we can get together and we can show some of these polls and go, BS. We can actually call bullshit. We know what's going to happen. Understand how they are going to choreograph this. Convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon. They're going to say it over and over and over. They're going to try and tell you that the polls aren't right. That all of a sudden it just completely flipped. And now Dementia Joe is winning. He's ahead. Don't buy it. The psychological terrorism that is about to be conveyed upon the American people will be like nothing you've ever seen. It will be propaganda 24/7 on some of these networks, including Fox. It will be insistent. It will be constant, and it's all designed to break you down. So as long as the powers that be allow me to talk on here, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you, what's actually going on that I can find out. And the best way to find it out is to hear it from him himself. Let's not even use these other media sources at this point because, there are a few people out there who I trust. I trust, as you see my videos, I trust Judge Janine. I trust Jesse Waters. I trust Greg Gutfeld. I trust Tucker. I trust Dan Bongino. There are some people out there who are really going to be able to deliver a message, and most of those people are on Twitter because they've been bounced from YouTube. God forbid, I hope I don't. But I'm going to be careful so I can keep talking to you guys. Kate Callahan says, Callahan? Yeah, Callahan. I'm still voting for Trump. Yep. Got to keep doing it. Got to keep doing it. I don't watch, Alice Wonderland says, I don't watch any MSNBC. Jeremy, no problem, bro. I'm going to keep bringing it. By the way, somebody, Exhale Queen says, time for Biden's trial. Understand, you see, this was 24/7 for the last 6 weeks, right? Hunter goes on trial, I think, next week or so for all his stuff. Let's see how they cover that. Because now he's got all these things and all this testimony is going to have to come out. I hope it's televised because you're going to hear lots of dirt. Did you hear what Dementia Joe did over the weekend, by the way? To show you how bad it is and how we're fighting good versus evil. Dementia Joe went to visit Hallie, who is Hunter's ex-wife, who he hasn't spoken to in like forever. Why'd you go show up? And she's a witness for the prosecution against Hunter. And he ditched the Secret Service, ditched him, which means somebody else was involved because Joe wouldn't know how to do that. And he went to go see her. Why would you go see the main prosecution witness a week before the trial when you've never talked to her in years? He got away with it. Media didn't push it. good versus evil. Yeah, Biden is guilty of war crimes. Speaking of that, I don't know if you saw today, but he authorized that country over there that they could go ahead and use American weapons to fire on Putin. What the hell is that? His dead brother's wife. Hunter had an affair with his dead brother's wife, and Joe hadn't spoken to her, and all of a sudden showed up at her personal residence to meet with her and just, hey, how you doing? And they asked KJP at the press conference, what the hell was that? Oh, he just wanted to say hi. So the President of the United States went to his son's ex-wife and his living son's paramour just to hang out and say hi. But we're supposed to believe that. Again, these people are evil. They'll do anything. Tammy Harrington said they just set a new precedent for the law. Now we can try Dementia Joe, Hillary, and Obama in the state court system. Absolutely. Except, and again, this is how wise they are and how they scheme. Unless you have a prosecutor in one of these red states who has a set of cojones on him or her and wants to take on this type of a trial, I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think there's many prosecutors in the red areas that have the cojones that want to do this and take on somebody like Obama, Hillary, or Dementia Joe. You need to find some. Again, when you get in that booth, let's see who runs for an office next time in November that says, like Alvin Bragg did and like Letitia James did, hey, I'm here to go after Dementia Joe. Elect me and I will go after Dementia Joe. I will look into him upside down and sideways. Find out who is going to do that. Because right now, there's nothing stopping anybody from doing it. They've just set a new precedent. Let's go for it. Oh, yeah, forget about that. Thank you.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
The more you do that. Joe probably arranged a car accident. What's it say? Car accident allegedly to cover up the showers. Ooh, I can't say that. Can't say it. Trump 2024, absolutely. Yeah, we got to vote him out. We have to vote him out and make it overwhelmingly voted out. Absolutely. Yada Callahan says, it is time to stop being afraid and stand up for our morals, values, Trump, and our country. They are going to come after us anyway. That is an amazing statement, and it's absolutely true. And you know they're coming. You got to feel, and you're going to see around. People are going to post stuff. They're going to say things. They're going to say things, and it's going to get you riled up. So just ignore it at this point. And so let me take a few more of these things here I've got lined up. So, Ron DeSantis, my governor down here in Florida. Today's verdict represents the culmination of a legal process that has been bent to the political will of the actors involved. A leftist prosecutor, a partisan judge, and a jury reflective of one of the most liberal enclaves in America, all in an effort to simply get Trump. Never forget, that was the motive. It wasn't justice. It was to stop Trump. This case, involving alleged misdemeanor business records violations from nearly a decade ago, was even brought as a testament to the political debasement of the justice system in places like New York City. This is especially true considering this same district attorney routinely excuses criminal conduct in a way that has endangered law-abiding citizens in his jurisdiction. Not a word of lies there. Alvin Bragg just lets these people do a revolving door of assault. You saw them beat 5 cops in the street. You saw that. 5 cops were attacked by the newcomers, and Alvin Bragg, let's just let them go. It wasn't until the people said, what the hell are you doing, that he had to go track them down across the country. I've seen some videos tonight already. I mean, it's really sad. I've seen some videos today where you really feel for some New Yorkers. There are New Yorkers out there basically crying in the street. The Big Apple has become the rotten apple overnight. And you know, I lived in Connecticut, so I used to go to New York all the time. My wife used to live in New York. Love New York. Relatives still there. They're getting out. At this point, it's a cesspool. And you think it was bad before? Watch as more people leave. Watch as people at this point decide, hey, listen, I can't take this, and becomes vacant. Watch as businesses move out. These people, these actors like De Niro, who think that it's a city that they can just walk through, go for it. Go. I dare De Niro to walk down the street without his bodyguards. His little 5'8" frame of 165 pounds soaking wet, they don't care that he was in The Godfather. They'll make mincemeat out of him. And you know what? Alvin Bragg will probably let them go too. So let's continue with what Ron says here. It is often said that no one is above the law, but it is also true that no one is below the law. If the defendant were not Donald Trump, this case would never have been brought, the judge would have never issued similar rulings, and the jury would have never returned a guilty verdict. In America, the rule of law should be applied in a dispassionate, even-handed manner, not become captive to the political agenda of some kangaroo court. He's absolutely right. And how bad of a kangaroo court was it? Now it's coming out that somehow, stroke of genius, just luck, Merchant is the same judge who sat over Allen Weisselberg's case. Wow, okay. He's the same judge that sat over Weisselberg's and Trump's case. Oh, he's 2 for 2. And his next case is with Steve Bannon. And in none of those cases was he in the rotation. Somebody selected him and said, you go do this. Not a lie. He wasn't even in the rotation. He was a selected judge. That's why Trump keeps saying that. He wasn't elected. He was selected. He wasn't even in rotation. People have said, how did you get all 3 of these cases? How are you the one that got all 3 of these cases involving the Trump circle? That's how bad it was. That's how bad it is. Some of you guys may know Scott Adams. Scott Adams says the integrity of the jury system was all we had left. America is gone. Time to rebuild. You can't disagree. If you can't sit in front of 12 people that are supposedly your peers, and they can't be given the ability to actually adjudicate something with equity and say, hey, this is right or wrong. If you can't see right or wrong. Now, I don't blame the entirety of the jury because they were only allowed to see certain things. See, but at the same point, you're an adult, and you got to say, this doesn't smell right. Yeah, hey, I understand what you guys are saying. I'm going to stand up for the good of man and say this is a travesty. But we don't know what the vote was, which charges, who did what. The jury may come out. Some people may do interviews. Some people may write books. Who knows what kind of pressure was put on them. By not sequestering the jury, they had to go home every single night. Then they had a week off. Did anybody get a knock at the door? Did a couple guys in suits show up? Did you go to the grocery store and come back and there's a note on your car? I don't know. But because they weren't sequestered, all of those things are possible. Barry, you're just thinking of the worst, really? They just put a president under conviction for 34 counts. And I'm not supposed to believe that it's not possible that someone left something on somebody's car or on their front porch, tucked in their dog's collar, stood outside their child's school. I'm not supposed to believe that, right? Because that wouldn't happen. They just convicted a president of 34 counts. You damn right it could happen. Do I have any proof? None whatsoever. But I know how bad they wanted to do this, what they needed to do, and it was by no accident that this guy didn't sequester this jury. And it's by no accident that he let him go for a week over a holiday weekend. People have done worse in other cases. And so you're supposed to believe that everything was fine. And those 2 lawyers, no, they're in their Manhattan offices, Nobody visited them, or nobody, threatened their law license and said you'll never practice in the state of New York ever again. No, that couldn't possibly happen. They convicted a president of 34 counts. All bets are off. Everything is off. At this point, assume the unassumable. That's the mindset at this point we have to have. We have to assume that every possible thing that they can do, they will do. And if you don't think that, then you're not prepared to go to a political battle. You're not a soldier yet. You're not ready. When soldiers train, they go through every possible outcome and what could happen while they're on the battlefield. If you don't think that an unsequestered jury could be gotten to, you're not mentally ready for what's about to happen. I don't mean that in a bad way. You got time. You definitely have 6 months. You're ready. But don't get distracted by bread and circuses. Oh, Taylor Swift concert. Oh, the Jets. The Miami Dolphins. Oh, this shit doesn't matter. You have to understand, if these people get their way, your way of life is going to be changed in every single way. You think you're going to be listening to the music you want to listen to? You think you're going to just decide to drive to a game? You think you're going to be able to fly to an away game? You think that you're going to follow your favorite concert tour? Wake up. All this talk about 15-minute cities. You know what that is? Go ahead and Google 15-minute city. What that means is they don't want you going anywhere. Their plan is to have these, quote, 15-minute cities where you just walk, and that's where you live, and you don't go anywhere else. That's it. There is so much diabolical stuff on the plate at this point that would actually terrify you. What the plans are. Google just came out with a way to basically track every single phone even deeper. You start getting the tinfoil hat stuff here, it gets real deep, and you're like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. Are we really going to do all this stuff? Come on, man. Think. Absolutely think. And Scott Adams said as well, I donated to Trump, and the donation page crashed from traffic, but I took this tweet because of what his last line says. This is the hill to die on. And that's not metaphorically speaking. That's where we are in this country. But Barry, you're being so, doom and gloom. No, I'm telling you, be good about it. Be happy. You still have a fighting chance. That's just, I'm saying just the opposite. It's not over. The people who sit back and go, oh man, I don't know what we're going to do. It's over. They're going to take, no. Just the opposite. That's why I had to change my thumbnail. No, just the opposite. Be ready and come out ready to politically fight. Get it done. Get to a rally. Donate. Do what you need to do. Get off MSM. Don't listen to them. Coalesce with other supporters. This is biblical at this point. I mean, it's absolutely biblical at this point. I think this is from Donald Trump Jr. Sentencing is 4 days before the GOP convention. They're not even trying to hide the election interference. They don't care what you think. Again, will they do things that are going to affect your life personally? Absolutely. Why? Because they were able to charge and convict a president of 34 counts of whatever, made up stuff. They're not even trying to hide it. Megyn Kelly, who has a law license, says, guilty on all counts, the country is disgraced, Alvin Bragg should be disbarred. They will rue the day they unleash this lawfare to corrupt the presidential election. Absolutely. Make them rue the day at this point. We need to show them we are not going to take it. Don't take down your flag, show your faith in our country, or we lose. You're absolutely right. Eden Terra says, tyrannical regime. We must have greater resolve to convince others to vote for Donald Trump. I know I missed some of you guys on your super chats. I'm a one-man operation here. Thank you very much, Nick. It's greatly appreciated. The rest of you guys, go ahead.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
We stand by him. Trump train is rolling and not stopping. We spread his message, our supporters for him. And understand what you just said there. What's really important. It starts tomorrow. Everybody dust off, have dinner, sit with the wife tonight, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, children. Tune in tomorrow live as we cover his press conference, or you can watch it on any other news station you want to. We're gonna talk about what he has to say. I have a pretty strong idea he's gonna come out with a game plan. He's gonna come out because, as you've seen, this guy doesn't lay down. He doesn't lay down whatsoever. He is going to come out swinging. Vote red no matter what's said. Cuban for Trumps, absolutely. What's to say? Soak Mitch says, I've been fighting for President Trump from the start, and I'm pissed. I'm going to fight for President Trump more than ever. In addition, fight for all the people in the comment section. Fight for all your friends. Fight for everybody who wants to live the American way of life. It's not just Trump. It's all of us. Understand, if your neighbors, you talk to them, you go outside tomorrow, you take the garbage out or whatever, hey man, you believe what just happened? Open up a conversation. Can you believe what just happened? And if they say, good, I'm glad it happened to him. All right, now I know. Now I know I don't need to talk to you. But if they said, it's awful, I've never seen anything like it, engage and talk to them. There are a lot of people out there, you know what's funny, since I've been doing this show, and it's a lot of fun, and I get to meet people. Just yesterday, my wife and I went out to dinner. Actually, I went to the doctor earlier in the day, then I went to dinner with her at night. When I went to the doctor, there was a guy walking down the hall, and he looked at me, and he goes, I think I know you. And I go, oh, I don't know. And then he goes, now that I've seen you smile, I definitely know you, but I don't know where from. And I said, do you watch YouTube? He goes, oh my God, that's it. And then later on, we went to dinner, and we're sitting at the table, and I look over at my wife, and there's this lady and her husband looking at me. And I get the idea, okay, here it comes. These people recognize me. And they get up, they pay their bill, and they're walking towards me, and she just came up and put her hands on my shoulder and said, keep going. You never know who you're going to see out there. Understand, that's how we win. Mobilize. Talk to people. Find out where they stand. And it's so simple. You can just simply walk up to someone at work tomorrow and go, can you believe what they did to Trump? And you're going to find out they're either going to basically spew all over you, or they're going to walk away and go, yeah, he deserved it. But if they say, I can't believe it, this is atrocious, what do we do? That's your in. Talk to them. Well, you know what? I watched this guy on YouTube, and I watched Trump here, and I watched this other guy on YouTube, and we're all trying to get a collective community together to say, we are not going to take this shit anymore. Here's what we can do. Find out when there's a rally near you. That's what I'm saying. Just engage with the conversation. I can reach a bunch of people on my channel here, and I thank you guys for being here, and it grows. But even then, in person is even stronger, much stronger. Combat Medic says, I talk to people only 50 years old or older, and Washington State Republican are a disaster. Yeah, but maybe they'll wake up now. Maybe this is the reckoning that these people need. Maybe a lot of people just didn't understand what was coming, what was happening, but now they do, and realize if they've been following along. If they haven't been following along, then maybe that's your opportunity to say, listen, understand, here's what's going on. But take the opportunity to try to bring more people in. Raymond says, the best thing that God made was one day behind another, so let's wait until November. No, wait, let's run into November. Californians, you know what's going to be interesting? If at this point, I don't know if California could ever be in play, but I think Trump needs to ramp up New York. I think he needs to ramp up Pennsylvania. I think he definitely needs to ramp up Michigan, Virginia, and push these things. FJB, I'm still voting for Trump. Absolutely, not even changed a little bit. So let me go to one more, or not one more, but I got a couple more here that I want to show you. Molly Hemingway, what Democrats did today in New York won't hurt Donald Trump. I agree. It may even help him. But what Democrat hate has done to the country and rule of law today is almost incomprehensibly dangerous. All honest people must fight it. And that's the key. All honest people. There are so many people out there who are just in the tank for the Democrat Party and, of course, Dementia Joe, that they don't care. They don't care what they do to you. They don't care if they step on your face. They don't care. This is not the Democratic Party that I watch my people in my family follow. There wasn't this. There wasn't this insanity of BLM and, the people that go into schools and want to teach kids to do stupid stuff and people who want to pretend that they're somebody. We didn't have that in the Democrat Party when I saw certain people in my family. I shunned kind of. I'm like, hey man, what y'all think about is crazy. But it wasn't crazy like it is now. Now it's complete insanity. And so what Molly just said, and what she said there, is all honest people must fight it. Find other honest people. I mean, that's really important. Richard Grenell, which leads me into that. Richard Grenell, he's gay. I've seen enough. Donald Trump has been elected the 47th president of the United States. That's the kind of spirit that we need moving forward. We're going to have these people in-house. David Sachs, again, this is that billionaire, a sham trial designed for one purpose, to brand Donald Trump as a felon, which Dems and the MSM endlessly repeat that word. So, I have a software, and I'm probably going to deploy the word felon and Trump together and see what happens. I bet you it gets said on every single newscast by every single host over the next probably 2 or 3 months, every single day. Every cryon, which is the information at the bottom of the screen, every single newspaper. I bet you if I look right now, my local newspaper here, the Sun Sentinel, Miami Herald, I bet you they're saying convicted felon. At this point, they move into stage 2. Stage 1, get the conviction. Stage 2, throw the propaganda out there and basically sway as many weak people as they possibly can. Fortunately, down here, we have so many Cubans and Haitians who've come here for a better life, who understand what that crap is all about. And they're going to be like, nah. We understand what getting away from that kind of government is. We're not looking to go back to it at all. I don't know if many of you guys know Patrick Beck. David, expect 2 things. He's a businessman. He has a big YouTube channel. More businesses leaving New York. Polls reacting positively towards Donald Trump's favor, which they will try to hide. Americans are not dumb. What the left hopes this will do will shockingly surprise them. Future looks bright, and only the paranoid survive. And I like how he posed that. Only the paranoid survive, because that's pretty much what you have to be. That's what I've been saying, in the last hour or so, is understand what they are capable of. But Barry, that's just being paranoid. Only the paranoid survive. Hey, there's a Cat 3 hurricane coming. What should we do? Oh, honey, we need to get water. We need to get gas. We got to make sure there's enough food in the house. We got to go ahead and board up the windows. While the guy next door may say, I think it's going to miss. You guys are being paranoid. Okay. The hurricane comes, your house gets blowed up, and ours is fine. Be paranoid. Be smartly paranoid at this point. Be paranoid so that you can survive. I just loved how he posed that. People think being paranoid is bad? No, it's not. Understand they're capable of anything at this point. Anything. Jim Jordan. The verdict is a travesty of justice. The Manhattan Kangaroo Court shows what happens when our justice system is weaponized by partisan prosecutors in front of a biased judge with an unfair process designed to keep President Trump off the campaign trail and avoid bringing attention to DiMaggio's failing radical policies. Americans see through the Democrats' lawfare tactics and know President Trump will be vindicated on appeal. I love that, except one thing. What the hell have you guys been doing in Congress? I don't want to read another tweet. I don't want to read another news article. I don't want to see you on television saying we're going to have some hearings and look into this. The times for hearings and bullshit are over. If you're not basically doing everything you can to reel these people in, to stop letting them use American dollars, use the power of the purse, stop everything, shut it down. Next time, I think with December, no, I can't remember when the next budget thing comes up. Mike Johnson, same thing, shut it down. If it means shutting down the government, so what? Shut it down. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do. Don't tell me you're going to have another hearing. Don't tell me you're going to go on Hannity and say, you know, what's he always say? Do not let your heart be troubled. No, let your heart be troubled. I don't want to get in a foxhole with some guy goes, well, maybe we can have a meeting about it. No. I want to ask guys like Jim Jordan, what the hell are you going to do? I need our people in Washington to do what the Democrats did. Scour the entirety of the law. Find that loophole. They did. They found some kind of a loophole to connect this charge to that charge and pile it on and convict Trump of 34 counts. Screw your hearings. Don't want to hear your hearings. I want you to do something. I want you to get off your asses, get righteously mad, and make shit happen. And if you're not going to do it, then we need to vote you out too. Your tweet's nice, but you saw this coming a year ago. We all saw it coming a year ago. Why didn't you do anything at that point? Why didn't McConnell do anything? Why didn't any of you guys do something? And now look at you. Now your backs are against the wall. Your constituents are screwed. And you're like, hey, this was bad. No shit, it was bad. We saw it was bad. We don't need people like that in Congress. If you're not willing to go balls to the walls and tell Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and everybody else to go pound sand, and you don't care whether the government shuts down or not, we don't need you there. You're not a fighter. You're not a poker player that I want to be playing. Oh, actually, I would want to play against you because it tells me you're weak, that you got no hand. These guys played you over and over and over. And then you just have more hearings and send more letters and talk about it. It's bullshit. You're the guy who always rolls up your sleeve and never wants to wear a suit jacket. Well, okay, I see Fetterman doing more than Jim Jordan. I'm over it. All of them need to go if they're not willing to go to the mat with this one. That's how I feel. Donald Trump Jr., guilty on all counts. The Democrats have succeeded in their years-long attempt to turn America into a third world you-know-what. November 5th is our last chance to save it. Notice what he says there. In their years-long attempt. This didn't sneak up on anybody. When Alvin Bragg was running for district attorney, he said, I'm going to get Trump. Nobody did anything. When Letitia James was running to be the Attorney General of New York, I'm going to get Trump. Nobody did anything. Nothing. This has been years long, and our right side of the government has done nothing. They've completely sat on their asses and let it happen over and over and over again. Not just Kevin McCarthy, Mike Johnson, they've all fell like cheap suits. And right now, guys like Lindsey, I don't want to see Lindsey Graham on TV. You're full of shit, Lindsey. Same thing with that other guy, Romney. What a piece of crap he is. We don't have the fighters. Tim Scott, all right, you've been talking. Do something. Do something. Elise Stefanik, do something. No more tweets, no more hearings, no more letters. Do something. I don't know. The only person who seems like they want to fight is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she keeps getting bitched at. She keeps saying, oh, they keep telling her, don't say those kind of things. Don't call AOC names. Why not? Why not at this point? Why not say, hey, listen, I'm not taking your shit anymore, stupid girl. This is what we're going to do here. We're going to fight until we can fight no more. Well, we don't talk like that. Forget your decorum. F your decorum. I don't want to hear your decorum. I want to know, am I wrong? Do you guys want to see fighters at this point? Do you want to see people like who want to throw down at this point? I am concerned how we have these people in a leadership's position when you got people over here saying, oh, climate change is going to end the world and we need to stop you from driving and flying and everything else, and we need digital currency so we can watch where you're spending your money. And then these people are like, hey man, enough of this shit. We're done. We're done with people playing whatever sport they're not supposed to be playing in. We're done. We're done with happy hour at the kindergarten. We're done. You're not coming in here. Now is the time for good people to stand up and realize you're in a battle of good versus evil. If anything you take away tonight from what I've said in the last hour, understand that. This is no longer Democrat, Republican. This is no longer Dementia Joe and Trump. This is good versus evil. And if you don't recognize that, you are going to fall to them. You will fall victim to them, and you won't know what happened. Remember a couple years ago, many people lost their jobs because they forced you to do something you didn't want to do, and so you lost your job. Or perhaps they said, hey, guess what? We're going to shut down your job, and you're going to we'll give you $2,500, okay? Will that hold you over for a while? Here's $2,500. But then we'll go ahead and raise the prices and everything, so we got all the money right back. But we're going to, instead of doing something for you, we're going to put that money over there in another country and give him gazillions. Oh, Barry, I can't believe you're saying all this. Think back. They've already done it to you. I wouldn't be so concerned if it was like, well, they'd never do that. Oh no, that would never happen. Really? How many people were forced to leave their jobs because they weren't willing to do you know what? And then how many people lost their business because somebody and some governor said, you got to shut your doors. We'll let you know when you can open your business. Oh, our government would never do that, would they? Yeah, they did it. They did it. Hey, I can't go to the hospital and see mom? No, you can't come here. What? Only 2 people in the room at a time. What am I going to do? I got 4 sisters. Nope, can't do it. Personally, happened to me. What do you mean? What are you talking about? No, they wouldn't do that, would you? They wouldn't do that at all. They wouldn't make millions of people come in and give them your money to stay in hotels in New York City. They wouldn't do that, would they? No, they wouldn't do that. They did it. Everything you think they can't do, they do. I know it probably sounds a little bit like Rush Limbaugh at this point, but some people need to smack upside the head and realize this is who you're dealing with. This is what they're willing to do to subjugate you. And if you don't wake up and wake people up around you, it is going to be too late. It's almost too late right now. There are certain states where you can't do certain things. We saw Robert De Niro. What did he do when he showed up at the press conference? What was Robert De Niro doing when he walked up to the press conference? Do you remember? He had a mask on. Why in the hell, if everybody else out here ain't got no mask on, why would the guy that they've chosen to speak show up at a podium and he's wearing a mask? But what was funny, he got out the car with it, and then, he took it off as he walked up to the podium around all these other individuals. So obviously that was for show. Why were they showing that? Why did they show you Robert De Niro walking up to the podium with a mask on? Well, they wouldn't do that again, would they? Really? They just put a president, basically convicted him of 34 counts. Everything now needs to be measured by that. Everything. If you ever get the feeling in your mind, well, they wouldn't go that far. Okay. They made up charges pretty much against a former president, candidate for president, and they hung 34 on him. That's way beyond anything I could possibly imagine. And that's why people are flying that. This is Katie Pavlich. She's on Fox quite a bit. And that's why people are flying that kind of flag in their Twitter profiles today. Because we thought our government couldn't do that to us. We never could have imagined in as little as a couple of years ago that our government could actually make something like this happen. But now you know. So there's no more excuses. There's no more excuses for people in Congress. There's no more excuses for people in the Senate. There's no more excuses for you, your family, your friends, your coworkers. There's no more excuses. You now know to what lengths they are going to go to try and basically eliminate the American way of life. So if you don't do something, and I don't mean anything violent, I mean just get your ducks in order, what you thought couldn't happen is only going to continue and amplify. Mark my words. Do you think they're done? You think that tomorrow Dementia Joe is going to go to a podium somewhere and go, you know what, we've pushed you guys as far as we can. Now I just want to, be president again for another term and, take care of America. Now, today, he authorized American weapons to be used by that country over there against Putin. I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much where you have to know. Yeah, John Hale, you're absolutely. Where'd you go with that? Okay, that was so fast. John Hale. Yeah, hint, hint, wink, wink. Absolutely. Poopy Pants hates us. Yeah. Colin Mazzy says, Barry, this is Armageddon, Antichrist agenda. Vote Trump, else it's over. Yeah, and that's another thing. As you wrote there, the world is over. They're already done in many countries. Spain, toast. Ireland, toast. England, toast. So many countries have already fallen, and they're looking over here going, well, what are you guys going to do? Oh, you're going to put your current presidential candidate behind bars. Yeah, okay. Sue D says, yeah, if they do it to him, they will do it to any one of us. Wait for the election. I can't even say what you just said. It's already, yeah, I'm sure they have some things in place to do that. Somebody said something, where is it here? That Trump is the new Mandela. Yeah, absolutely. If he's sitting in there, I'll still vote for him. But you just gotta, tomorrow again I'm gonna go live at the press conference, so I'll probably go live at about 10:45. So if any of you guys are home, not at work or something, you want to tune in, of course you can always see the replay. But let me check my notes here. This is it. This is it. Not just for patriots, but the patriots among us have to be willing to stay frosty and get out there and help other people. Spread the message. Let them know that we're in trouble. We're in deep trouble, but we have time, and we have someone who's willing to stand up even after all the shit he's gone through. Can you imagine that? In closing, let me just talk about that. This guy could have just said, you know what? I'm just not going to run anymore. If you drop these charges, I'm done. I'm going to go run my business. I'll just shut up. I'll be a good boy. You won't hear from me anymore. I'll just go do my real estate. Just drop all these charges. Don't come to Mar-a-Lago anymore. But he didn't. He has more to lose than any single one of us, I would say. If he is willing to risk that much, what are you willing to risk? Think about that. This guy's got his buildings with his name all over it in New York City. They're trying to take those from him. They're trying to take Mar-a-Lago from him. They're trying to do anything they possibly can. They tried to drive a wedge in his marriage. They let Stormy Daniels get on there and just say all this crap, make Melania have to live through it again. They went after his son, his daughters. He didn't need any of this. I mean, yeah, the story is kind of weird because of how it aligns, but he didn't need all this stuff. He chose to take these arrows for us. He chose to say, you know what? I want this country to be better. I don't need to do this. I'm rich. I'm 76, 77 years old. I'm going to go down to Mar-a-Lago, down to the beach and hang out and have my club and play golf all day. I don't need this shit. But he didn't. That told me everything I needed to know right there. I mean, I drive by Mar-a-Lago. It's not too far from my house here. And I think about it. Wow, dude. You got the beautiful ocean. You got this beautiful piece of property. You got a beautiful wife and family. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing all of this? It doesn't benefit you. You're the one person who got into office rich and is going out less rich, where everybody else cashes in. Nobody ever says anything about that. But why are you doing it? You're doing it obviously because you care about America and you're a fighter. And that's all I'm asking you people tonight to do, is be fighters. Just don't sit back anymore and take it. If there's trolls in here, tell them to F off. I couldn't delete them fast enough. You know, it's just one of those things where I just don't care enough to deal with idiots. You people that want to do better, that's what I care about. Amen, Brother Bear. You got that right. He sure did. Yeah, he basically put everything on the line. He had more to lose than all of us, probably collectively. That's how much he had to put on the line. And they're going after him. So we're sitting back, you know, on a Thursday night at 8:15, and we're wondering what's for dinner. And we just turn on the tube and watch some TV. Understand this guy is sitting someplace in Trump Tower. Probably crowds outside screaming his name, both for and against. He's on the phone talking to his wife and saying, "Hey, honey, they did it to me. They got me." And I'm sure she's like, "Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting, honey." I'm sure his sons and his daughters are like, "Dad, we're here with you. Don't give in." And I'm sure there's a time, maybe before he goes to bed, where he's sitting around by himself and thinking, shit could have been a lot easier if I just walked away from this. Would any of you blame him if tomorrow he walked up to the microphone and said, "Guys, I'm out"? What would happen? I mean, thousands of you that are watching right now, what would happen and how would you feel if tomorrow he walked up to the microphone at 11 o'clock and go, "It's been nice, I've tried, but these people are assholes and I'm done. Have a good life, good luck. I'm getting on my plane and getting the hell out of here"? We would all be crushed because we need him there. We absolutely need him there. And if you don't think that, just imagine tomorrow he walked away. "Hey, Melania, I can't deal with this shit anymore. I just want to come home with our son. Just be home with you. I don't need this shit." Could you imagine what would happen? That's what you have to take away. If he's willing to get up there tomorrow, the day after he was convicted 34 times, and get up in front of a microphone and go, "Ain't over. I'm still here. I'm still fighting," then you need to keep fighting. You need to do something. Every one of you Congress people need to do the exact same thing. Don't wuss out now. Don't do it. Let everybody know, as that guy said, we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. On every level, down to friggin' dog catcher. That's all I got for you tonight. Hope I rallied some of you guys. 11 o'clock tomorrow. 10:45 actually I'll go live. But the fight continues. We're not done. And if you think you're done, ask somebody else. Ask somebody in the comments. Ask somebody to pray for you. Pray for Trump. Pray for each other. Pray for America. And if you're not a praying person, this is a good time to start. A very good time. You can see what we're up against. And it's not of this world. Love you all. Thank you very, very much. Go ahead and hit that like button on your way out.
Show some love and click
we'll
that like button.
The sun will shine tomorrow.